My kitchen right after a baking session. My roommate is tasting what I just baked. I'm waiting for her to be impressed because I've baked my recipe from scratch. Go me. As she chews my freshly baked goods, her face says it all. These biscuits are bad. I gulp and tell her the news. Those are cookies. What a kitchen failure, huh? And here's where I'm going with this. I'll never be on the Great British Bake Off. Baking from scratch is really hard. Now, baking from scratch is fine when it comes to biscuits, cookies. But if you're trying to do a startup, which is baking a business from scratch, and you're hoping to get passive income and leave your job, then you can end up with bigger problems than just puffy pastries. So, if you're actually trying to make money from your laptop and leave your job, then tap the like button and let's get baking. And by the way, thank you for hitting the like button. It means a lot and I really do appreciate it. Let's tackle a topic that's often romanticized on YouTube, across Instagram, and all the other social media channels. Startups. We've all heard stories of startup success, the tales of hustling millionaires and the allure of being your own boss, owning 100% of your own fast-growing biz. The media and your Instagram and Facebook feeds portray startup culture as glamorous and exciting, fueling our dreams of creating the next big thing. But when you look at these startup successes, they appear to have happened overnight. And the person had this great idea and then they made it work. Their first try at creating a business succeeded. And that person knew it was going to work. Working late at night, making your startup work. In sum, the myth is that if you want to replace your income or have passive income and eventually leave your job, then startup is the only game in town. Ready for a dose of reality? If you want to replace your income, leave your job, or have passive income, then a startup is not the way to go. Starting a startup is not for the faint of heart. In my mind, starting a startup is like you lighting a match and running through a dynamite factory. You may get out alive, but there's so much risk. The failure rate among startups is super high. Like 90% of startups fail, 90% plus. And even fewer make near enough money to justify the hours put in. Do you want to start something that takes thousands of dollars and thousands of hours and it doesn't work? And for that reason, I'm out. Like starting a blog or setting up an ecom business with no knowledge of it is like really, really hard. Building a business from scratch requires more than just a great idea. You know how much an idea is worth? I'd say $0. But don't take my word for it. Seriously, go look online and you couldn't sell an idea for any money. Starting a startup involves creating a product or service, establishing a customer base, and finding out what the market wants. And you find that out by looking at what the market is already buying and by your own experience in having. Like, it takes a lot of moving parts to make a startup work, but people think it just takes one piece. For example, you love writing, big whoop. It takes more than good writing. You love SEO, big whoop. It takes more than good SEO to make an online business work. And it takes time to know what has worked, what content is paying off, whether you chose the right niche, what Google thinks about your website. The problem is that people think to themselves, I want to have my own business. And they think that the only way to have their own business is to start it themselves. And that's not true. It's not the only way. People get really caught up in this picture of starting something. And there are a million ways to get bogged down in a startup. You can get bogged down in analysis paralysis, which has been a big problem for me. For example, there are people who spend a year with an idea for an online business in their head. And they spend a ton of time thinking about something. And because they haven't tested it in the real world to find out, they don't learn that the thing doesn't even work. Or that there's a much bigger problem to solve first, like who to sell to and how to sell it. They'll start with a what in their head versus the who and how they will buy the what. For example, say you're a great chef and you create this amazing cooking course of what you think people will want, but then it turns out nobody wants it. Plus, you don't have the audience, the traffic, the email list, the authority. Other people spend a year trying to decide which online business to start. They think to themselves, dropshipping looks so profitable. SaaS could be a great business, and on and on and on and on. But is this myth really the reality? The truth is, startups are not glitz and glamour. While some do achieve massive success, they are the exception, not the rule. And only a few of those would ever get you to a place of replacing your income and living a laptop lifestyle. Okay, I'm finished being a negative Nancy. I'll stop. So I want to ask you, how do you see entrepreneurship and startups portrayed on the internet? Have you tried starting a startup? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, so here is the good news if you want the less risky route to the laptop lifestyle. Instead of starting a startup, buy an online business that is already making money. This approach is the shortcut to achieving your laptop lifestyle. It's the cheat code for you gamers out there, you know what I mean. Think back to all the hard stuff about startups. And now, imagine stepping into an online business that's already established, reducing the risks associated with starting from scratch. When you buy an online business, you already have traffic, you already have revenue, you already have an audience. Yes, maybe even an email list. Email lists are huge if you don't know. Email list is super great for you as a business owner. We'll get into that in another video. When you have cash flow and systems to get more cash flow, like you have that when you buy a business. Do you see how much less risk there is than with a startup? You can leverage someone else's hard work and build upon their success. Plus, acquiring an already profitable business opens up doors for growth and scalability. If you're tired of the startup headaches and want to fast track your journey to a laptop lifestyle, this could be the solution you're looking for. Consider it. Remember, with getting success, you don't have to start from scratch. If you want to start something from scratch, go bake biscuits. If you want to make money online with less risk, then buy an online business. Think about buying an online business like this. Everything you wanted from the startup, you can get from buying an online business with less risk. The income, the chance to work on something that you own 100% of, learning business by doing business, being able to work from your laptop or have passive income and leave your job. You get that from buying an online business. And you get the bonus of learning how to acquire a business, which in my humble opinion is so underrated, and you never hear about that skill. Because from a strategy viewpoint, to actually grow what you got is really valuable. Buy a startup and grow it, getting everything you can out of all you've got. If you've got the time and the money, you can get leverage. Get something and leverage that, because the initial energy it takes to start something is massive versus the energy to grow something that already exists. I just mentioned the skill of buying a business, aka due diligence. To make that easy for you, get our due diligence framework that we have used to help us and our clients make millions and save millions of dollars when buying online businesses. This framework takes the guesswork out of buying a business. Check it out in the description below. Hey YouTube watcher, what's up? It's William Griffin. And if you've watched this video up until now, please smash that like button. And I'm glad you're liking the video. Also, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're doing super well. Also want to ask you, please consider subscribing, because my commitment and exploration on YouTube is about to explode. Stories, polls, more amazing content, and more engagement. More surprise and delight for you. This is the time to subscribe. I hope you consider it, and I hope I see you on the next video.